Welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. Because of our crazy schedules this week, and mine just got even crazier due to a homework assignment, we have decided to record today. Today's Monday, but by the time you guys will be hearing this, it will be Tuesday. And so I'm going to let Mel explain the topic because he wants to talk about the acronym of giving, I should say. So I'm going to let Mel explain the topic.
Well, happy Monday and happy Tuesday or whenever you get to hear this. Good morning, Wynn. How are you? Hope you had a terrific weekend. So, listen, I've got this little document that I wrote. It just all kind of spilled out of me as an inspiration. Last October 2016, I was on a flight back from New York to Denver after speaking at the Super Online Coaching Conference, and I was trying to figure out, if I want to write something, what kind of style do I want to write it at, and the word give came to my mind, and as an acronym, I broke down each letter into a subject matter. And so I came up with this document, and it's definitely self-development, it's definitely empowerment, and it's definitely the ability to kind of see the world in a way where you are going to do your best, but also have some self-acceptance at the same time. It's about balance, right? So anyway, what I'll do, Lynn, is I'll go over every letter and each topic of every letter, and we'll deep dive it as much as we can, okay? All right, so we'll start with G. All right, so the word is give. We'll start with G. Give all you've got in all that you do. What you do at every moment echoes eternally, so don't do anything half-assed. Do it right, especially when you know how to. Make the basics spectacular so that when you need to be spectacular, it's basic, right? If you don't, you'll end up having to clean up whatever you did halfway. So that's the first one. That's the first one. How do you interpret that? How do you think that applies to you, or maybe you have applied it already?
Well, it's funny you should say that because I have a sketchbook sitting in front of me, and it's my homework sketchbook, and I am trying to do my best on my next two assignments because when the original assignment was given to me, and I actually posted it on my Instagram, when the original assignment was given to me, one, I did not have the proper tools, my fault, big time, and then two, my professor last minute gave all of us, not me included, all of us more instructions than she originally gave in the assignment. And I still haven't got my grade for assignment number 1. But I'm going to give it all I got to the next two assignments because I really, really, really want this degree so bad, as you guys all know. So I'm going to give every little ounce of energy to the next two assignments.
Outstanding. That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. Being focused, being committed, being inspired. You have a very strong reason and a strong why to get it done, and you're putting your energy into it. See, those moments and achievements are they're an accumulation of events that lead you closer to your goals. There are some that you're going to achieve, and there's some that you're not. But the bottom line is the commitment level and the actions need to match. So great job on that. Okay, so moving on to the next one. I. Invest in yourself. You're worth it. Reinvent yourself. Refine yourself. Read a book and learn something new. You don't like to read? Then get an audiobook app on your phone and load a book. It's that easy to listen to one. Hire a coach. I'm sure you're pretty bright, but you're not that smart. You know what you know, no matter how educated or intelligent you are, but if you really think about it, you really don't know squat. Here's the thing about coaching. The more it costs, the more you'll learn. Don't be cheap. Spend the money. How high or low your return on investment is totally determined upon what you give. So if you're going to have an expert make you accountable, you might as well partner up with someone who's going to make you a totally awesome winner. What about that one, Wynn? How does that resonate with you?
Well, I'm investing in myself in two ways right now. One, I'm sending myself back to school to get my professional degree, my professional training, and I put that in the envelope because for some weird reason, throughout the years of me doing this podcast, you guys seem to like it. Now, with professional training, you guys will like it even more because I at least now know what I'm talking about. And while doing this process, I have gotten smarter, not dumber. And I have invested in a coach. My coach happens to be my co-host, and this person, Mel, has kept me accountable for what I'm doing. I mean, if we didn't have a set time, I would be not mixing up my podcast to do, my podcast would be purely interviews. And so you, Mel, have got me thinking deeper and got me all that. And then my family's invested in this new career like there's no tomorrow. When I say new career, freelance journalist, I mean, I have everyone coming out of the woodwork to help me succeed and educate myself and invest in myself.
That's fantastic. And thank you so much for the kind words. I really appreciate that. The opposite side of that, the other side of that is I'm only as good a coach as I have a coachable client. And so I'm not worth anything or useful to anything or anyone unless the client is coachable. And I've taught that, I've hammered that home to youth athletes all the way to my adult athletes. So the reason why it's effective for you is because your mind and your heart are wide open. You and I have talked in depth about certain things, and you have absolutely taken it to heart. So I appreciate you helping me be a better coach every day. And believe it or not, everything that you teach me from our success together helps me pay it forward. So you and I are actually helping the next client I work with in the future. And I like to make that clear with every client because the learning curve never stops. It just increases. And that's how I go into it whenever I'm coaching a client. So, I love the fact that you're investing in your education. I love the fact that your family's supporting you on that and that you're surrounding yourself with the right people so that your energy level moving forward is always trending upward, which is great. So, love that. Awesome.
It's so funny, and if I can jump in here for a minute. Well, this is not funny. It's sad. But when I first got involved with the rehab, which vocational rehab of Colorado, each state has them. One of the questions they completely forgot to ask me, I don't know why they didn't ask me this, is your family and friends ready to invest in your new life with voc rehab or your new career? Because part of voc rehab, sometimes they have kids adults and kids find jobs for the first time, and secondly, or they help people like myself make a career path switch. And so I find it weird that they asked all these other questions, including what are your finances, all this, but they forgot to ask the number one and important question: is your family and are you ready to do this full-heartedly? And I don't think most voc rehab ask that question.
Yeah, you certainly won't fail alone, and you certainly cannot succeed alone, right, in anything that you do. Even the most seemingly independent sports like golf and tennis or anything that looks like you're just doing it by yourself, there's a team of people along the way that helps you develop who you are. So I love the fact that you are very close to your family and you handpick people that are along for the ride and they support you. I've had that in my life. I'm very lucky. But that's a conscious choice though, right? You can't just assume people are going to jump on board. You have to decide who's going to be on board with you and who's not. And if you're hanging on to somebody who's draining you instead of being an asset to you, where you're mutually benefiting each other, then that's your fault, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. We can't help you. I've had those people in my life, and
right.
and they drain all my energy, and then they leech, glomming onto me, and it's like, you need to get off me. You need to go your separate path here. Even though I love you and support you, your leech, dragging me down and as I hold you up for your success.
Yeah, and in all fairness to those people, it's not a matter of good or bad or right or wrong. They're just not a good match for you. They're not on the same wavelength. No. They're not on the same journey. They're more suited for someone else who's going to be in the same wavelength with them. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? So,
yeah.
Anyway, okay. All right. The victory awaits you. Go for it. Okay, stop with the weak excuses. Stop listening to the lies in your head and get out of your own way. Take a huge leap of faith and go for it. It's incredibly selfish not to. Holding back to show the world your best can deny the world of a life-changing event, system, or something that can simply improve the quality of everyone's lives. How do you think the greatest things that's ever been invented are part of your life? Someone was passionate about it, believed in themselves, didn't care what anybody said about them, took a risk, and won. For all of us. Okay, so go for it because you'll win, and even when you lose, you learn, and that's still a win. No pun intended, win.
Yes. No pun intended. You had to throw it in there just because.
I had to throw that
but
in.
no pun intended. And so even when you lose, you still win. Well, as you know, as you guys know, my story is a complicated / winning story. And as you guys don't know this, but this episode is actually dedicated to a wife who's a widow now, who just lost her husband 3 weeks ago to colon cancer. And the reason why I bring this person up is because without him and without my family, I wouldn't be doing this podcast. This person was the doctor that co-delivered me. So, and he co-delivered so many babies up here in Aspen, Colorado / Dallas, Texas, that he's now having a public memorial service, and I hope all the kids that he delivered show up, because without him, I wouldn't be sitting there doing this podcast. I mean, without those doctors in my life, and God knows I have about 10, maybe even over 100 of that, I wouldn't be learning lessons I'm learning through cerebral palsy and through my life, and sending myself back to school without the doctors that have helped me. So for those of you who don't think I like doctors, cerebral palsy and doctors get along perfectly fine. We just have spent too much time with them. I kind of got rid of doctors in the sense of surgery last summer. So when we say give it all you have to give it all you have. And what was that letter mail? I went on that tangent and I got the letter.
No, it's okay. No, we're on V. Victory awaits you. Don't
Victory awaits you. Well,
take a leap of faith. Take a leap of faith. Right?
Okay. I've decided, as you all know, I was humming and hawing over whether I should quit my day job. And I've decided to postpone the quitting of the day job until I am 33 years old essentially when I'm 32, to get my degree first and then quit the day job. So that getting this degree would be a victory in itself, because I don't have an associate's degree in anything. People think I do. I have a group leader certificate in education, and that's it. I didn't even go to I'm looking at it right now, I didn't even go to my college graduation ceremony when I was grief-stricken over my mom. So I didn't even go to my college graduation ceremony. So I will get 2 leaps of faith in 1 year. I will get a degree and quit my job to then transfer over to a full-time writer. So that's my victory.
That's fantastic. Again, taking a risk, you envisioned a dream, and now you've scheduled it, you're taking action. So many people have ideas, and they have things, and they have passions, and they get to a point to go, nah, nobody would ever believe me, or nah, I can't do that. And they come up with all these reasons why they can't. And what they're not realizing, is that by not following through, they can be making an impact on the world, either from a local region around them, like immediately within their family or circle, all the way to the world, right? Think about the Industrial Revolution, right? Let's think about the bottle opener. What if the person who thought about, hey, how do I open a bottle? What kind of a tool can I make? And he refined it, or she refined it and made it, and all his friends and his or her friends said, no, that'll never work. Oh, that's not going to be good enough. Oh, whatever the case may be. Or let's say the Post-it note, right? Oh, come on, dude, that's just a piece of paper with glue on it. Who's going to buy that? What if that person listened to everyone who rejected his idea, even all the companies he approached for investments, right? He or she would have denied us of the brilliance of that end result. That's why it's so important to take a chance and take a risk. If you're not used to doing that, take small ones, and see what happens. There's no right or wrong. There's just opportunities to refine and reinvent and keep moving forward. That's growth. That's being alive. A great friend of mine who is an empath and a highly educated therapist once said to me in a deep dive conversation, she said, Mel, there's a question I always ask when I'm in a relationship with somebody, when I'm first dating them. After a couple of 2-3 months, I get to the point where I think, wow, I'm really attracted to this person. I really want to spend more time with them. There's a crossroads that she gets to, and she'll ask herself, if this person never wanted to change, never wanted to learn, was content with themselves and didn't want to learn anything, clocked in and clocked out, happy with their future, never wanted to learn any new activity, could I accept them? Now, that may work for some people, but it certainly doesn't work for me. You want to be ever growing. You always want to be ever changing and ever evolving, because if you don't, the world's going to leave you behind. That's just my personal thought on it. But at the same time, that type of a person who doesn't care anymore and doesn't want to learn and is content, they may be at peace with it, but they're not really stimulating themselves. They're not really contributing. They're just kind of existing. And that's not something you want to do. At least I don't think so. Okay? All right.
Yes,
let's see.
I definitely agree.
Right? Yeah. Okay, this next one is E. It's a little more personal development, so bear with me on this one. Okay. Embrace your flossomeness, right? We're all awesome. Some of us think we are, some of us think we're not. But if you have flaws, which we all do, that makes you flossom. So embrace your flossomeness. You've been shattered at some points in your life. You've been wounded and damaged, and part of you is broken. If you believe that you're not, you're lying, so stop it. You're unbelievably imperfect, but you're still here because you're a stubborn person who refused to die, right? Okay, so maybe you've been criticized and you believe the garbage and have doubted yourself in the past. Yeah, people will talk trash about you. So what? Above and beyond the fact that it's probably not true, it's really none of your business what people think or say about you. Actually, it's a good thing that they're talking about you because that means you are relevant right now. That kind of marketing is priceless. Not caring about anybody's opinion of you is not only liberating, it allows and propels you to take risks fearlessly. I don't even know if that's a real word, but I really don't care. You get the point. The mere fact that you're the only one that exists makes you a totally original and authentic superstar. You are an accumulation of your broken pieces, all the painful experiences that you stubbornly overcame and refused to die from. Your quirks and awesome, unique talents, those flaws, that flossomeness makes you totally awesome, and don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. Okay? There you go.
There we go. So you said flossomeness, which now I'm going to be all day. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Steal that shamelessly. I didn't invent that word. I just saw it, a long time ago. Oh my God, that makes so much sense. Right?
No, I have my physical flaws, and my physical flaws are cerebral palsy. But despite my physical flaws, I have the brain power of a rocket scientist, practically. And due to my physical flaws and due to my story being out there, I'm actually going to start a podcast in the next summer actually, called Ask Win, and it's basically going to be a fan-based podcast, and you guys can ask me any questions you want about anything, about cerebral palsy, about, I don't know, how I wrote a book, how I do a podcast, how I do this, and then we're going to start, Mel and I are going to kick back up wisdom of style to talk about the flaws of fashion and interview the up-and-coming fashion designers and talk about their stillness and just embrace the flaws of fashion that way. And so I think embracing the flaws is a good thing. I don't know about you guys, but I think embracing the flaws is a good thing.
It is. It totally is. It's very liberating. I mean, it's God, how do we say it? I'm part of an elite coaching group called The Powerful Man, based out of the UK. And part of our program is peeling away the layers and deep diving and understanding that your pains and your mistakes and the things that, that you feel are wrong about you really aren't wrong. They're just, emotions are just energy in motion. What you attach to that emotion or the actions that you follow with that emotion is what's really scrutinized and looked at, right? That's what's consequential. So, it's very important to kind of look at yourself as a whole instead of constantly striving to be strong and positive and all that, because you can't always be that. Those feelings of awkwardness and doubt and anger and all those quote negative, unquote emotions or situations will surface, and you need to be able to deal with them. That's part of your flossomeness, because how you behave based on those behaviors and habits is what makes you flossom, right? You are equally flawed in that regard as you are awesome in everything else that you do, So you mentioned your physical flossomeness, and you wanted to do a podcast. I beg to challenge. Is your CP disability really a flaw? If that is how God and the universe really created you, doesn't that make you a gift anyway? And you just found a way to do what everybody else is doing without any excuses, So
yes.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's one perspective of looking at it, because if it's one of those things where I would ask somebody, God, I couldn't do what she does, or she shouldn't be able to do what she does. Why not? Right? Why
Yeah.
shouldn't you? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
the closing of my article, right, is, all right, that's it, peeps. Just wanted to give you that reminder today. So now go hug yourself. Tell yourself loudly that you love you, and go give the world everything you've got. And that's the end. So anyway, that, you know,
that's the end.
if you read that article over and over and just read sections of it as a reminder every day to kind of, you know, as a reset, just go, hey, you know what, that's where I'm at, and that's okay. That's awesome. You know, it's just a great tool to use to read every once in a while, to take inventory of where you're at, so that you can keep moving forward. And that's why I wrote it.
Well, that's wonderful, and I will keep you guys updated on the vote rehab thing. I may be switching computers in the process of going back to school. Yeah, because I may be getting a new computer. So I will keep you guys updated if I do, but my account will not go down until I have everything transferred over. It's all depending on what happened on Thursday. The laptop isn't the big concern for me. The big concern for me is making money off my books. And that's the big concern. And that's what I told my book rehab counselor, is because my big concern is, once I get to journalism degree, making a decent income off my books, even though I still live with my dad, and I just want to be a New York Times bestselling author. You guys know, but we've got to start somewhere. We've got to start with the small things. So now what I've challenged myself to do is do 13 books, 13 different books throughout this year, next year, 2020. You get my drift. And so I consider myself a full-time writer who teaches diversity on the side. So that's my leap of faith, and that's how I'm going to walk into this meeting, and hopefully it will come out with good results, and hopefully we can hash it so I can make good money off my books.
Well, that sounds like a terrific plan. There you go. Just back up the plan with the actions day to day. Make adjustments when things don't go the way you want them to, and just keep moving forward. Just the direction is the most important thing, not the destination. Right. Always be in that same direction.
Plan.
There you go.
That's
awesome.
My plan, Mel.
Awesome.
And
so thank you for letting me read my article to you.
Well, you're welcome. And how would you like to close out today's episode?
If you would like a copy of G.I.V.E, you could find it on Facebook in my page, Mel Martin. I posted a meme in black and white with the acronym G.I.V.E, and then the article is all there. If you'd like to talk about it a little bit more, if you have any, suggestions or opinions or feedback, I welcome them all. Look me up on Facebook. Feel free to private message me, and I'm more than happy to engage with you, and I hope you found it helpful.
Yeah, I certainly did. And
good.
And let's hope that you guys took away something from this episode, especially taking the leap of faith part. And this episode will be up today. It won't go live until tomorrow because my week is crazy. And so you guys will hear this episode tomorrow, and I will give you guys an update on next week on what's going on with both rehab and what's going on with my work. So maybe, Mel, you can sculpt the episode around that. And so I will also give you guys an update via Facebook Live. For those of you who don't know, I'm now doing Facebook Lives consistently on Thursday, and Mel stops whenever he's doing on Thursday to watch a Facebook Live. I don't know why he did that last Thursday, but he should have been doing something other than watch me. But it's a really great support system, and because I realized that you guys don't know how to listen to a podcast, so I'm doing Facebook Live in conjunction with my podcast. And so those are every single Thursday, probably at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time, and 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So, and then you can always catch the replay, and Mel is going to share, I don't know where it is. So, and Mel's pretty good at doing Facebook Live too. So, we have that going for us, so you can at least see us and ask us questions in the comment section. So that's how we are going to interact with you guys, and I'm going to be more interacting with my fans from the journalist point of view now that it's been told to me I need to focus and slow down and interact with my fans, because apparently you guys love my story, and so that's the best way I know how to do it. And so we will see you guys next week, and then you guys can leave feedback no matter how you see fit, and just leave positive or okay feedback. I don't care about the okay feedback. I'll take it with a grain of salt and fix the problems, and I'm sure Mel will too, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, you guys.
Thank you. Take care.